Well, hello there. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Perhaps you've missed this voice, this familiar cadence that often accompanies stories of the strange and the unsettling. I've certainly missed being here with you, sharing tales that send a little shiver down the spine and make you think. Sometimes you have to step away for a moment, recharge the batteries, maybe even solve a minor mystery of your own, like where that other sock went after a spin in the dryer. But now, I'm back. And oh, the stories I have for you. The world, you see, never stops producing these enigmas. While I was away, the gears of mystery kept turning. So, settle in. Pour yourself a cup of something warm, perhaps. Lock the doors. It just adds to the atmosphere, doesn't it? You know, the world is full of stories. There are happy ones, sad ones, and then there are the other ones, the ones that stick with you. We'll be wading through police files, witness testimonies, searching for that one elusive clue. It's a thrilling prospect, a grand adventure into the heart of what makes us human. Our endless curiosity. We'll look at cases that have gone cold, so cold they're practically frozen in time, and see if we can't bring a little warmth, a little light. We'll examine the evidence, question the timelines. What we're doing here is more than storytelling. It's a form of digital archaeology. We are digging through the layers of the past. The journey ahead is long and winding, filled with chilling tales and heroic efforts. So let's begin. Now, before we delve into the heart of our first mystery, a little bit of housekeeping is in order. If you're a returning friend, welcome back. If you're new here, a very special welcome to you. Go on, find that little button that says subscribe. It doesn't bite, I promise. And while you're at it, there's a like button and a comment section. That's where the real magic happens. We're building a community, a legion of armchair detectives. The membership fee is exactly $0, and the only requirement is a curious mind. Sharing helps our little community grow. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, shall we proceed? The shadows of a cold New Hampshire night are waiting for us. Welcome, dear viewers. With you is the explorer Hamu from the World Stories channel. Today, we delve into a story that begins in the heart of a New England winter, a story of a young woman who stepped out of her life and seemingly into thin air. Her name was Maura. In early 2004, she was a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, a life filled with demanding classes and the noble ambition of becoming a nurse. She was on a clear path, or so everyone believed. By all accounts, she was a bright and talented young woman, a star athlete in high school, known for her determination. That same drive led her to the prestigious United States Military Academy at West Point for a time. She was a disciplined, high-achieving individual with a seemingly limitless future. She was loved by her family and friends, but something was happening beneath the surface. In the days prior, there were signs of a private struggle, a quiet sadness that friends would later recall, a sense of being overwhelmed that she kept carefully hidden from the world. On the morning of Monday, February 9, 2004, Maura did something strange. She sent an email to her professors and work supervisor telling them she would be gone for a week due to a death in the family. It was a calculated lie, a deliberate act to create an escape route. This, her family would later confirm, was not true. Instead, she packed a small bag with a bizarre collection of items, her textbooks and birth control pills, but also a box of Franzia wine. She then withdrew $280 from an ATM, cash for a journey off the grid. Then she got into her black 1996 Saturn and started driving north. She had looked up directions to Burlington, Vermont, but no one knows for sure if that was her intended endpoint. Was it a destination or a decoy? The road ahead was as uncertain as her state of mind. She was driving alone, toward the cold, imposing beauty of the White Mountains. She left behind a life, a dorm room filled with her belongings, and a family who would soon be plunged into uncertainty. A journey that began with a lie and a packed bag would soon become one of the most enduring mysteries in modern American history. A story that vanishes on a lonely stretch of road. Welcome, dear viewers. With you is the explorer Hamu from the World Stories channel. Our story begins on a cold February evening. The setting for our mystery is Route 112, the Kankamagus Highway, in Haverhill, New Hampshire. It's a winding rural road known for its profound isolation. With no cell service, no streetlights, and no homes for miles, it's especially dark and desolate on a winter night, a place where a person could easily vanish without a trace. Around 7:27 p.m., a local school bus driver named Butch Atwood came around a sharp hairpin turn near a place called the Weathered Barn. His headlights cut through the darkness to reveal a startling scene. There, he saw a black Saturn spun around, jammed into a snowbank. The windshield cracked, the airbags deployed. It was a single-car accident in the middle of nowhere. Atwood pulled over and asked the driver, a young woman, if she needed help. She appeared cold and shivering, but not visibly injured. When he offered to call for help, she reportedly pleaded, "No, don't call the police," claiming she had already called AAA. This was the first major red flag, as AAA would later confirm they received no such call. Feeling uneasy, Atwood drove the short distance to his home and called the police anyway. When the first officer arrived roughly 10 to 15 minutes later, the Saturn was there and locked, but Maura was gone. In that incredibly short window of time, she had vanished. A search of the immediate area revealed another baffling clue. There were no footprints in the deep snow around the vehicle. It was as if she had simply evaporated into the cold night air. Inside the locked car, investigators found a collection of strange items. A Coke bottle that smelled of alcohol, a damaged box of Franzia, a map to Burlington, and a rag stuffed into the tailpipe. Each item was a piece of a puzzle that only deepened the mystery. In the critical hours following the crash, a massive search effort was launched, a race against the unforgiving winter clock. New Hampshire Fish and Game, state police, and local law enforcement pooled their resources, desperate to find her. They brought in highly trained search dogs and helicopters with thermal imaging, hoping to detect any sign of body heat against the vast, cold landscape. Alongside them, teams of dedicated volunteers combed the dense, snow-covered White Mountain National Forest, methodically expanding the search perimeter day by grueling day. But the vast, silent forest offered up no clues, no footprints, no discarded items. The wilderness guarded its secrets. It was as if it had swallowed her whole. Even the search dogs gave conflicting signals. One reportedly tracked a scent from her car for about 100 yards down the road, and then, inexplicably, it stopped cold. This abrupt end to the scent trail gave rise to a terrifying theory, that Maura walked that short distance and was picked up. The haunting question became, did she get into another vehicle willingly or by force? After weeks with no new leads, official search efforts were inevitably scaled back. But Maura's father, Fred Murray, refused to accept the silence, continuing to organize his own private searches, fueled by a father's hope. As the official investigation cooled, a new one ignited online. The case became a digital age phenomenon, dissected and debated on internet forums by a global community of amateur sleuths. Despite the relentless passage of time, Maura remains a ghost in the snow. A young woman whose sudden, inexplicable disappearance continues to haunt her family, the community, and thousands of strangers captivated by her story. One persistent theory, perhaps the most hopeful, is that Maura chose to disappear. The email, the specific items packed, the withdrawal of nearly all her cash, it all looks less like a spontaneous trip and more like a premeditated escape plan. Perhaps she had a friend or stranger waiting to spirit her away, possibly even to Canada. It suggests she could be out there living under a new name, having pulled off the ultimate vanishing act. Her family largely dismisses this. They argue it was out of character and believe she would have eventually made contact. It's a comforting thought, but like all others in this case, impossible to prove. On the other end of the spectrum lies a far more sinister possibility, that Maura was the victim of foul play. In this theory, the crash left her stranded and vulnerable on a dark, isolated road. An opportunistic predator might have stopped, offered a ride as a facade, and Maura, disoriented, could have accepted. Scent dogs would lose her trail on pavement. Elsewhere, the trail simply went cold. Over the years, police investigated persons of interest, searched properties, followed up tips, but no concrete evidence linked anyone to Maura. This theory haunts her family the most, transforming a troubled young woman seeking escape into a tragic victim of a random, brutal crime. We have a car, a crash, and a ghost. A family left in limbo, a collection of strange clues that point in multiple directions at once. What do you think happened to Maura? Was she a runaway, a victim, or something else entirely? Head down to the comments and share your theories. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and sharing. We need all the detectives we can get. Don't make me send a search party for you, kidding, mostly. Thank you for joining me on this journey back into one of America's most haunting cold cases. For Maura's family, and for those of us who hold her story close, the search for truth goes on. If Maura Murray didn't vanish into the woods and she didn't get into a stranger's car, where did the road take her?